Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're excited to watch two big names from the Rage Forest scene battle each other in Arabia as Barles, playing as the blue Vietnamese, prepares to take on Valas, playing as the purple Magyars. Now, while the players herd their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to go up to Feudal as fast as possible, let's take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Vietnamese are an archer civilization that has access to two very cool archer units. The first is their unique unit, the Rattan Archer. This is the second fastest foot archer in the game that comes with a decent attack and a massive amount of pierce armor. Think Huskar level armor, making it very hard for enemy archers to kill. The second is the other unique unit of the Vietnamese, the Imperial Skirmisher. This is a better armored version of the Elite Skirmisher that comes with a higher attack and bonus against foot archers and cavalry archers. Now, if that wasn't enough archer for you, all units that come out of the Vietnamese archery ranges come with an automatic 20% more HP. Now, to support their ranged units on the field of battle, Vietnamese elephants can be upgraded to get an extra 100 HP, and they get the conscription upgrade for free. Now, to afford the costs of training their ranged units and their battle elephants, all economic upgrades for the Vietnamese cost no wood, and their lumberjacks can be upgraded to generate a small amount of gold while they actually cut down trees. Now, unlike other civilizations who have features designed to protect their economy from raiding, the final feature of the Vietnamese is actually one that allows them to raid more efficiently. The first thing you'll notice about the Vietnamese, let's take a look at their line of sight. Notice anything on the minimap? Take a look at this. The first thing you'll notice when you play Vietnamese is that they know exactly from the beginning of the game where their opponent is located, and this information is incredibly invaluable for any player looking to lame resources, steal animals, or put on any kind of early game aggression without having to scout around the map first. And, maybe you'll find your opponent at the first try. Maybe you won't. This way, with the Vietnamese, you know exactly where all of your opponents are from the get-go. Now, Valas, playing as the purple Magyars, a fast-paced mounted civilization with a few features that make them potentially incredibly deadly to deal with and hard to deal with in the late game. Their scouts, their light cav, and their hussars are all 15% cheaper. They get all melee attack upgrades for free. I'm talking forging, iron casting, blast furnace, all for free, which not only saves them about 1,000 resources, but also the time it takes to research these upgrades. Now, Magyar Cav archers can also be upgraded to get extra range and attack, and their unique unit is the Magyar Hussar. This is a light cavalry unit similar to, but a little bit stronger than the regular Hussar, except its bonuses against siege units, not monks. And even though in the beginning it does cost a little bit of gold, you can upgrade them to cost no gold at all. Now, the Magyars, to support their horse-based army, their villagers can be much more aggressive out on the map, much earlier in the game, since they require only one strike to kill any individual wild animal that they may run across. Now, this may not seem like much until you yourself have actually tried to move out onto the map with a maybe a villager that's been attacked, maybe a villager that has a little bit less HP than it should. And my God, does it always take a long time to fight a lion, a crocodile, a Komodo dragon, a bear. The Magyars, one strike and that animal is dead. Now, while the players both have 18 villagers, our Magyar researching loom, let's take a look at their bases, see if anyone is any particularly advantaged or disadvantaged situation. Our Magyar heading up to Feudal first, 1 minute and 50 seconds away. However, take a look at this base, completely open in the west to the portion facing his opponent. What a long way to have to wall off if that's the way our Magyar wants to play this. Primary gold a little bit secure in the, let's call this the center back position. Primary stone also center back position. So kind of safe, kind of not. Secondary gold much more safer here in the back of the base. Secondary stone, tertiary gold very exposed, very far away. So we'll see what our Vietnamese decides to do with this. For his part, Barles, primary gold, center front position. Where's his primary stone? Center back position. Secondary gold also secure in the backs. Tertiary gold and secondary stone, also far off campus. Let's take a look at the base. Man, is this one also hard to wall off. So these bases are equally equally atrocious, to be honest. Very hard to wall these off, although take a look, Barles has already tried. This is 29 palisades that he has put up as this one ostrich continues poking into the ground, no doubt looking for something to eat. It is our purple Magyar who hits Feudal first, a full 40 or so seconds ahead of his opponent. And take a look. There is absolutely no need now that Barles has kind of gotten the general gist of where his opponent's gold is, where his opponent's stone. He's seen the lumber camp. He's seen the berries. There's no real point in his scout roaming around the map. So he brings the scout home, deciding, you know what, I'm not going to put on any kind of Dark Age aggression. Maybe I won't even put on any Feudal Age aggression. Although we'll leave that to him to show us. A few dragon trees here in the middle of his base. His opponent, though, Valas, also has seen where his opponent is located, and unlike the Vietnamese, he is being very active with his scout. No kills for either player. So at this point, not too sure which strategy is coming out on top here, the super duper aggressive or the super duper defensive. Although right as I say that, it looks like Barles is moving out with his scout. And look at this wall off. Look at this wall off. The only thing I'm getting a little bit scared here for our blue Vietnamese is the location of this gold. If our Magyar decides to bring any kind of archers just southeast of this gold, just to the bottom right of this gold, there is not much that Barles can do to defend this. He is going to have to run like the wind to his secondary gold pile. A lot of gold piles lately have been coming in Tetris pieces, Tetris shapes. I'm not going to pretend to be angry about that. I think it's pretty damn cool. In any event, 24 villagers apiece, 5 army supply for our Magyar, 4 for our Vietnamese. Instead of going range, he is investing full on into Scout Cav. Our Vietnamese, though, take a look. 2 spear already out, 1 more spearman on the way. And he's going to catch out Valas. Okay. Just the presence of 2 spearmen, how powerful the counter unit is in this game. Just the very presence, the very whiff of a wooden spear in the air. I wonder what these spears are made out of. Oak? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I'm not really a wood guy, you know. I'm going, oh, well, it's definitely a spruce or pine. I know some woods are, are stronger than the others. I don't know why I went on this whole damn tangent about wood. In any event, first kill, first blood has been drawn. 2 kills apiece, but our purple Magyar, 2 of those kills are villagers. So he is now ahead economically, 28 to 26 villagers, but down 2 army supply. And now he finds himself trapped here with incredibly weak scouts, and this one should die. Not sure why he's stopping here. At the same time, our Vietnamese is now circling. Let's take a look. One thing we didn't look at. I say we like it's your fault, the viewer. No, one thing I didn't look at is location of wood lines. When you have a map that's this open, wood lines in the earlier part of the game become very important, very exposed. Looks like purple did end up losing the scout as his purple saddle melts into the sands, disappearing into the annals of history. But wood lines become very important. And see how far away it is from the town center. You have to be very protective of your wood lines. This one's pretty, I would say they're like a medium distance. They're not too super far off. Whereas Barles, similar. This one's a little bit further away. This looks like, what, 10, 11 tiles, whereas this is 4 or 5 from the perimeter of the town center. He's got a few forward forests, which he's ignoring, which I don't mind at all. And take a look, though, at his base. I'm going to zoom out. Look at this base. He has secured himself, with the exception of this front area, an entire enclosed off base. I'm not even sure what's part of the map. Usually I'd say an 1/8 of the map, a 10th of the map. I'm not even sure what size that is. In any event, our Vietnamese, being the one putting on the aggression, already has racked up 6 kills with this additional spearman. Skirmisher, rather. In comes the spearman. Eyes see spearman, brain says skirmisher. Oh, you guys. You know my casts. You know how it goes. 6 kills to 3, but Valas, take a look. Even though he's supply blocked at the moment, even though he's housed at 40 there for a second, or 35, whatever it was, Take a look at villager count. He was ahead 2. Now he's ahead 4. Man, is Age of Empires a game of increments. One villager at one stage becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 6, becomes 8. As long as you maintain the same level of production, you will outpace your opponent very quickly if you can get some of those juicy early game snipes and kills. What are you, Blue Dot? You are an incredibly weak scout. No wonder you are hiding there in the south. How much has he actually seen? So he knows that there's nothing here. I wonder why he's not moving his scout closer to the gold to keep an eye on this gold. In any event, 13 army supply to 10. Valas again housed at 45. I don't see construction of a house anywhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, just as I say that, 3 villagers get pulled off, start producing building a house. Let's take a look. We've got counters for purple, and even though purple is down in army supply, I think I favor purple's army here, right? The skirmishers zone out the archers, the spearmen zone out the scouts. Unfortunately, the spearmen need to be microed perhaps a little bit better just because they're not keeping pace with the skirmishers. Although it doesn't really matter. The archers are gone. Army supply now swinging in favor of our Magyar. Not much happening in terms of major battles and confrontations out on the middle of the map. Let's use this opportunity to take a look at the bases as we zoom out here. Although, as I say that, these scouts continue to run away. But let's take a quick look. 1 stable, 1 archery range, 1 barracks. Like the what's the joke? And a blacksmith. What's the joke? At the Dalai Lama, when he orders a pizza, he says, "I'll have one with everything." That is the strategy of our Magyar at the moment. Our Vietnamese, 2 archery ranges, no surprise there. Remember, very much an archer civilization. When I looked up, when was it? I think it was about a few weeks ago. I looked up which civilization has the highest loss rate. I was pretty surprised to hear that it's the Vietnamese civilization. The fact that economic upgrades cost no wood, and you're an archer civilization, so you save your wood that way. Archers don't cost food generally, right? Unless unless I'm missing something. But in general, skirmishers. Sorry, I shouldn't say skirmishers. Archer units, non-skirmisher archer units. So I was pretty surprised. But then I delved into it, and of course, every plus has a minus in this game. So as the picture became more clear, things did become more clear to me. But let's see if our Vietnamese, I have a knack for saying somebody's going to go left and then they go right. I say the Vietnamese are an archer civilization. Let's see if he goes archers. I say Magyars are going to be cavalry. Let's see if he goes cavalry. For now, though, these scouts continuing to run circles while Valas, first to reach Castle Age, was first to reach Feudal, but not too far behind is our Vietnamese, keeping pace with villager count. Now he's ahead 1 villager. Those 2 times that our Magyar was supply blocked definitely didn't help maintaining a villager lead. And look at the upgrades: Bodkin, Bloodlines, Bosaw. Excuse me, Barles. Well, let's see what he's got planned. Oh, he's got husbandry behind Bloodlines as well. Skirmishers continue to pick off these Vietnamese archers. Okay, interesting. Managing to, when you're outnumbered, what is it? 7, 8 to 1? If you manage to pick off if you manage to even pick off 1 unit, that is an impressive feat. A 3rd town center going up for our Magyar as well. He is now ahead 2 villagers. We'll see what kind of lead he can establish for himself. And here come the cav archers from our Vietnamese with Bloodlines, 80 HP on them. A 2nd town center going up for him as well. For now, beginning to produce cav archers. Cav archers are a very interesting unit. Look at the lion. I'm going to distract myself very briefly. Oh, he loses interest. Cav archers are a very interesting unit. I feel like you have to produce them starting almost the second you reach castle if you want to build up a critical mass, right? It's a very expensive unit. It's a very finicky unit. Requires a lot of micro, and you do not want to lose them. That being said, if you want to create any kind of mass, any kind of bulk, and look at this, 4 more. He's going up to 12. Thumb ring, padded archer armor. If you want to create any kind of bulk, any kind of death ball of these units, I think you have to start producing them very early on in Castle Age once you hit Castle. Otherwise, you're just going to get outproduced by your opponent. You're never going to be able to get out as many as you'd like. This one Cav Archer tethered to this regular foot archer for some bizarre reason. Oh. I don't know, that little bipedal archer was making some moves. Let's take a look at speed. 1.54, 1.49. In theory, these knights should never catch these Cav Archers, whereas these Cav Archers can chase the knights all the live long day. Our Magyar going up to 8 knights, 6 elite skirmishers, a 3rd town center going up. Love the location next to the stone. Let's take a look at the location, actually. This one, town center, not terrible. A little bit too close maybe to the market, but such is life. This one next to the stone we just saw. Another one close to the wood line. The 3rd one we saw very much right next to the primary gold. So the players have disengaged. Town watch. No upgrades being researched for Valas. At the moment, he is 10 away from being supply blocked. So is Barles. House here looked like it was started but then unfinished. Army supply 17 to 16. Look at our Magyar, by the way. 66 villagers to 55 of our Vietnamese. If you're playing Vietnamese, you'd probably want to see that in reverse, right? The Magyars with their 15% cheaper light cav units. I don't know how many villagers is the ideal number for them in the late game, assuming this game goes to the late game. But as the Vietnamese producing these incredibly expensive Cav Archers, you definitely want to get your villager count up. Ballistics going up for him as well. So this is going to be a very fun bit of combat here. Let's take a look. Like I said, this unit, I have an opinion of this unit very similar to the Britain longbow. They are a very finicky unit. If you don't micro them well, they do not perform well. You know, you'll have 30 of them firing on one target, which is not exactly ideal given the fact that they're a pretty damn powerful archer unit. But if you know how to micro them, if you use their speed, look at this. Then you get a situation like this where you can basically run circles around your opponent. Valas here, though, managing to get some pretty good trades. If you can trade skirmishers for Cav Archers, you are in a pretty damn good situation. Let's take a look at upgrades, by the way. +2, +1 against +2, +1. But Valas here just doesn't have the numbers. His micro is amazing. He's dodging a lot of arrow fire, getting a lot of damage done with such a small body of skirmishers. Now he's closing in on with the knights. Wow, Barles taking a terrible engage. Valas pouncing, using the opportunity. Now he's going to be +2, +2 in a second. Will our Vietnamese. But what an absolutely epic battle there for our Magyar. Almost evening up the kill count, 29 to 31. But remember, evening up the kill count when you have elite skirmishers and your opponent has Cav Archers is pretty much a big W, no? That being said, you know, it's not a W having 2 full health knights entering your base. +2, +1 upgrades on them as well. This one's already got 2 kills. This one's already got 1 kill. Now the Cav Archers are running around, running forward, circling around everywhere. A stable going up for our Vietnamese. Interesting. He still has his scout cap from the early part of the game. And you see, this is where it pays to have. I mean, let me know what you think. You think the Vietnamese deserve to be the lowest win rate of any civ? I think it's a pretty damn powerful civ feature not to have your economic upgrades cost wood. I mean, I know it's not a lot, but it does allow you to just pump out archer units more and more. And if you combine that with paper money, which again, I know is not a lot, how much does it cost? I think I believe they decreased the cost of paper money now, right? It doesn't cost any gold, just food and wood. About 700 resources total. So it's not a super duper expensive unique technology, unique upgrade, whatever you want to call it, a UU. for short, if I was to type this out in a text message. You know, hey bro, what's your favorite UU? In any event, I think it's very interesting that they have. I know they lack, for example, take a look at the top left of the screen, blast furnace. You know, I get that, but having elephants, those pothead elephants with 420 HP, the tankiest non-Persian elephants in the game, having archer units out of the stable with 20% more HP, I'm just a little surprised. But like I said, I'm going to stop harping on this. Let me know in the comments below if you agree, disagree, what you think about it. Always happy to engage, hear more and more opinions. Uh-oh, knights are about to bust in. Maybe not. Had they busted in, it would have been busting into their death because there's all these cav archers here now. HP down about a third. Very forward-facing castle here. Our Vietnamese, I think, for a second wanted to plant the castle to the side. He knows he's playing against the Magyars, does Barles. He knows that raiding in the late game. Like I said, Magyars, it's one of those civilizations that in the late game just, man, that 15% discount on Hussars. Man, the presence of the Magyar Hussars. Man, if they go cav archers, like, oh, wow. I didn't expect this, but if they go cav archers with the recurve bow upgrade, man, are they potentially dangerous, extra range, extra attack, cheaper trash raiding units. That being said, for now, if he wants to engage in a cav archer war with our Vietnamese, he's got to get those numbers up. And like I said earlier, cav archers, if you want a huge amount, you have to start early. Now you're seeing 3 cav archers to 24, although it is yet again Valas who is first to head up to the next age. Mixing in a bit of a meat shield here with these knights. Upgrades +1, +2. Oh, this is going to be very problematic for our purple Magyar right now. I wonder if he was a little bit too greedy heading up to Imperial so quickly. It's Imperial. And now what? And now you've got how much? 24 army supply. Even the scout from the early part of the game is joining in here. But town center's enough to shoo away these knights. Remember, knights not exactly the best under town center fire. And man, what an absolute fantastic hold for Barles. Castle to the north, static defense town centers to the west and the south. Manages to push away all of these cav archers, but take a look. The cav archers have vision of the next step, the evolution of the Magyar army. Light cav, you know what that means. You know he's not going to stop at light cav. 5 knights, but again, take a look at how quickly the HP melts. They're just not that great underneath town centers. That being said, he is now heading up to Imperial as our Vietnamese populations. Let's take a look. 129 villager supply to 114 for our Vietnamese. 14 army supply to 27. So that entire advantage that he had building up that big cavalry archer army at the early stages of Castle until now, all gone. Reset entirely to 0 cav archers. It's now our Magyar who is getting the lead in cav archers. Has to research conscription. Oh, looked like there was a bipedal upgrade there for a second. Having to reach conscription, whereas our Vietnamese gets that for free. Squire's pikeman upgrade for him. He knows what's coming. He knows exactly what's about to hit him. And in 28 seconds, his theory, his hypothesis, if I play the Magyars, then they will go. Hussars will be absolutely proven right. And he is going to be very much vindicated. Moving back in with more knights. He's got 16 civilian kills to 6. Not a massive, massive advantage. And now he sees the Hussars. And now the knights have to run away. These Hussars, 95 HP. Attack on an 11. The knight, 120. Attack on an 11. And this is perhaps why our Vietnamese wanted to build the castle here early on the game. Because now he knows Purple is just going to send armies all over the map. No real reason for him to engage in a massive battle. unless everyone just gathers all their units. Take a look at army supplies, 61 to 28. So very much our Magyar would want to engage in a battle. And this is what I was talking about, the exposed gold. Oh, that is so sour. Their bodies lying dead on the hot sands. All they wanted to do was work. All they wanted to do was an honest day's job, provide for their families, and out of nowhere come a bunch of hussars, yikes, cav archers, and just say, sorry, you ain't wearing purple, which means I have to kill you. Same for these day laborers who are trying to put up the barracks. Although, you know, when you're building military infrastructure, maybe you are fair game. I don't know. We'll let the United Nations dictate what's fair game, what's not fair game. For us, what's important is that we've got 45 halberdiers on the production tab, 32 cav archers coming up against 40 hussars, 9 cav archers. Parthian tactics for our Magyar as well. He sees the halberdiers. He wants every potential advantage he can against them so he can snipe them before they wreck his hussars. Hussars obviously not strong enough to take on halberdiers unless they can run circles around them or unless they have the numbers advantage. First mover treb advantage here for purple. Although it looks like he's going to lose this treb. Maybe not. Nope. These knights, this is a one-way trip for them, even if they make it home. Take a look at their HP. Unless he gets herbal medicine, unless he garrisons these knights, this is very much a one-way trip. And yeah, he garrisons them, but we'll see how long they stay in there. What are you? Okay. A band of hussars just said, F this. We want to put flowers in the barrel of every gun. Sit around in a circle, smoke a peace pipe, and sing Kumbaya. We want no part of the battle. At the same time, look at Barles' vision, by the way. I'm going to zoom out. Look at this vision out of our Vietnamese. Sees the entire northern extent of the map. We'll see if he decides to extend. Okay. It's a long way to bring back your your stone. Army supply, Barles has crawled back into the lead, 64 to 55. This game is yo-yoing up incredibly. Wow, what an impressive feat. What an absolute, when players play like this, where 1 second you're down 40 army supply, then you equalize, then you take a bad trade, you're down again, or you take a good trade and your opponent is down, but then 5 seconds later, he's back up. These are the kinds of games that are the most enjoyable, in my opinion. The absolute yo-yo games. The pendulum swinging left and right, up and down. Hussars deking around everything. God, they're so fast. But one treb does survive. The hussars get stuck here behind enemy lines. The halberdiers just shredding them to pieces. But now the cav archers with what? +6 attack against the spearman line. Looks like when I was at work, looking recurve bow was also researched. More hussars streaming forward. Now is when that bonus is going to start kicking in. 58, 61 villagers on food tells us that Valas is very much interested in going hussars at the moment. And here we go. The knights are out, but man, they did not have enough time to get even a third of their HP back. Bombard cannon is going to have to shoot more than the usual 3 balls. This guy's on the high ground. 2. High ground with how many villagers repairing? 4 villagers repairing. Looks like Val's tried to sneak in there to get the snipe. Does get the snipe, but has to be careful. Knights continuing to distract, but only temporarily. Their HP was so bad, they just could not survive long enough to distract longer than a few seconds. And beautiful use of these cav archers to pick off the villagers repairing the treb, while the I was going to say spearmen, which I guess technically they are, you know, just a fancy schmancy spearman with a halberd in his hand instead of a spear, took down that treb. The beatniks, they saw enough combat. They are hanging out doing nothing. Oh my god, their compatriots though are all over the place, killing villagers, attacking barracks, defending castles. One Treb being built here. Our Magyar completely out of food. Completely out of gold, sorry. But does he need it? 62 villagers on food means that he is going to be able to produce Hussars all the live long day. Blue, though, finally able to secure this gold. Let's see how long he can secure the gold for. Oh, Hussars deking left, deking right, spasming all over the place, drawing Cav Archer fire while the Halberdiers do the same thing. We've got a bit of a tango, a dance, a beautiful movement here. Look at this. I don't think a single Hussar attacked a single Halberdier, a single Halberdier attacked a single Hussar. These guys are basically just being sent to their deaths. They are basically fodder for cavalry archers at the moment. Wow. Wow, what a beautiful play out of both players, microing an army in the center of the battlefield like crazy. Neither player attacking each other, really just trying to shred through whatever the hell was in the center. But a big body of Hussars, 20 of them. The beatniks, the beatniks. They've been found out. Their commander says, get back to work. 3 kills is not enough. 6, 7. We'll keep an eye on those. See what kind of damage these 20 can cause. My goodness, at the same time, this guy's still attacking this proxy location out of blue. Blue expanding to the south. Let's take a look at his vision again. My God, look at Barles' vision. He sees, what is this? 70% of the map? That is just impressively bonkers. Or bonkersly impressive? Bonker impressive? I don't know what the word is. Army supply 91 to 69, 125 villages for a Magyar. Might be a little bit of overkill, to be honest. If you're going in a trash horn, by the way, look at this. Raiding to the back, raiding to the center, raiding to the front. One Hussar trying to raid to the north. Castle, however, under attack. 85 villagers to 124. Our Vietnamese has built 1 rattan archer. It does not even want to leave the castle. It's so scared of what the hell it's going to find out in the world. Welcome to the world, young rattan archer. Now go and fight. Clash incoming. This is a lot of halberdiers, though, for our Vietnamese. They are moving forward. 21 Cav archers to 33. 92 HP to 80. But these guys attack on a 12. These guys attack on an 11. These guys have 6 pierce armor. These guys have 4 extra HP versus extra attack and extra armor. We'll leave it to Spirit of the Law to tell us which of these is which of these prevails in a one-on-one head fight. Oh my God, a battle here in the center of the map as well. What an absolute slaughterfest this game has become. Even halberdiers joining in on the fun. 1 Hussar here to the back. It looks like our Vietnamese is pushing out, though, more and more units. Take a look at this parade push, this stream of units, but 19 more Hussars. Ugh, is there anything worse than pushing out with your massive army? Take a look at army supply, 100 to 55, pushing out with your massive army. 40 of it is here, and then getting completely sideswiped by these Hussars, although halberdiers, he's got enough of an army supply that he can just leave halberdiers in small clumps all over the place. Light cav for a Vietnamese being mixed in as well. Remember, they do not get Hussars. So light cav basically about the best he can do. Full blacksmith upgrades for our Vietnamese. I speak English, I promise. Full blacksmith upgrades for our Magyar, with the exception of infantry, because there's not a single infantry. Magyar Hussars are about to pop out. Where are these 5? Let's take a look at their attack bonuses. Ram, Siege, like I said, their bonuses is not against monks. At this stage of the game, when they're popping out, you're more likely to see a Ram, an Onager, maybe even a Scorpion. Maybe if your opponent is a little creative, a little cuckoo in the head, a few siege towers, than you are to see a monk. Oh, this villager needs to lead this Hussar right back into the castle fire. It does. It dies. Everyone's dying, but our Magyar is just raiding everywhere right now. Army supply. Barles has lost 60 army supply in the last few minutes. At the 1 hour mark of the game, army supply 75 for our Magyar, 43 for our Vietnamese, who looked like he had very much the momentum, the pace, and control of the game, but all of a sudden, he's now down half his army supply. Pendants flying in the wind, the Magyar Hussars move in, snipe the Treb, and in come... Oh, I was going to say in come these Cav Archers, but 88 kills on them. 52 on these. Wow, what an unexpected turn. A few minutes ago, our Vietnamese was right here, knocking on the door of the Magyar base, and then in the blink of an eye, raiding nonstop by our Magyar, just completely changed the dynamic of the game, changed the pace of the game. And Valas with 108 villagers, that might be the perfect amount, by the way, if you're spamming trash units. To the 77 of the Vietnamese, manages to just get ahead of his opponent here. Let's take a look at the stats, but wow, what a super fun, incredibly fast-paced game. I did not expect Cav Archers, to be honest, out of our Vietnamese, just because they don't get Parthian tactics. So I really wasn't expecting this, but pleasantly surprised. 214 Halbs, 208 Hussars, APM for both players, pretty damn fantastic, and pretty damn at the same time, 51-16 to 51-10. These guys were APMing their hearts out, microing their hearts out towards the end of the game. Economically, our Magyar ahead by about 10%, a little bit more wood, a lot more food, down in gold, not too much. And stone count basically identical. Looks like relic gold also playing a little bit of a role, about 1,700 extra gold for our Vietnamese. By the way, how is the gold situation out on the map? There's still some gold here, 1,200. And unless I'm mistaken, that might be the last of the gold. Damn. But take a look at this. This is what's really impressive. I mean, he didn't win the game, but look at Barles' map vision. Look at this. If it wasn't for the incessant, non-stop raiding from the Magyar, this was for sure going to be a W for our Vietnamese. I mean, look at this vision. Whereas without the raiding, ignore the raiding units out on the map for a quick second. I mean, obviously you shouldn't. The whole point of the raiding units is twofold, right? To raid and to give you map vision and map presence. But ignoring that for a second, take a look. This map vision is basically just about a quarter of the map. Whereas our Vietnamese, everything he sees. This is a huge advantage for our Vietnamese, but unfortunately just took way too many bad trades. And even though, take a look at his resources, he's got a good amount of resources, but number one, no wood, and number two, no villagers. 77 villagers at the hour mark of the game. You know you're in trouble. Only one villager on wood right before he GG'd. Take a look at the scores. He's down about just, what, 2,700 points? So he knows that. He sees that. Our Magyar supply capped. Our Vietnamese barely scratching above 120. And just way too many raids. Way too... How do I put this? The response is it's such a typical situation in Age of Empires where you think you're safe with the halberdiers, and it is such a strong unit against Hussars, especially when you clump a few here and there. But the mobility of the Hussars is something, I talk about this all the time, especially in enclosed maps where players fight over relics, usually with light cav. You cannot underestimate the mobility of a Hussar. You cannot leave yourself open, especially against civilizations that have features with their Hussars, right? I'm talking Berbers, I'm talking Cumans, I'm talking Magyars. You cannot leave this. This is way too exposed. And I know I'm going to catch flack because it is the end of the game, and, you know, players are microing in 17 different locations on the map. And yes, he was closed off here, but if this wall off was repeated to the north, here, walled off, and maybe a little bit here as well, maybe a very simple wall here, I think Barles would have been able to stay in this game a little bit longer, maybe even put up a much stiffer resistance. But man, you just cannot underestimate the absolute speed of these units. 1.65 will outrun your what? 1.1? 1.1 halberdier. It literally runs 50% faster. And yes, when you catch up, if your opponent isn't paying attention, this halberdier will absolutely wreck the hussar. I mean, assuming the numbers are there and it, you know, takes a favorable engage. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I wish we got to see the conclusion of this fight. Oh my god, is this 2 lions? Oh my god, the lion has a kill? Oh, you guys know I have to rewind. What? What is going on? You know what this reminds me of? The, what was the name of that old Val Kilmer movie? The Ghost in the Darkness. If you haven't seen that movie with Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer. I think Michael Douglas, right? Man, go right now and go to YouTube. I mean, you're already on YouTube. You're watching this. Google the Ghost in the Darkness trailer. It is an absolute fantastic movie. Forget the new one with Idris Elba where he fights a lion. This Ghost Darkness. Let's see what the hell is happening here. Okay, so the villagers are moving forward to build a house. Not too sure why he's building a house. He's got enough room for 200 population, maybe just to keep them busy. I don't know. Seems like a bit of a waste, but 2 lions catch up. They double team one of the villagers. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, she manages to kill one of the lions. But, oh my god. Epic. You guys know how much I love. You guys know how much I absolutely love the wildlife in this game. And that, oh man, this one villager, if he had just microed him, turned around and attacked, he maybe could have saved her. Look at her. Look at her just lying face first in the dirt. Oh, what an ignominious way to end the game. What an absolutely horrible way to end the game for that one villager. But like I was saying, anyway, getting back to the actual game that I'm sure 99% of you want to watch instead of me nerding out over a lion. Never, ever, ever underestimate the speediness, the quickness, the absolute devastation that is the hussar. And you need to, if you're going to have a base that's open, you're going to need to have static defense. And even town centers are not going to, I don't think town centers are going to be that powerful. I mean, again, take a look. 6 pierce armor against your town center means that they are going to be free to do whatever the hell they want. Random wall here with your base. And ultimately, our Vietnamese just couldn't keep up, just could not stop the raiding. And again, a few minutes ago, he was the one knocking at the front of his opponent's base. Took just an absolute terrible set of raids here. Actually, I don't know why I'm rewinding. Sorry, guys. I meant to fast forward to get to the end of the game so we could see the kill count. 343 kills by our Vietnamese, 50 of them villagers, 463 kills by our Magyar, 126 of them villagers. So about 77 villager kill difference here for our Magyar, which is what won the game. Because again, take a look. Barles, 18 wood. I mean, you can't sustain an archer civilization with 18 wood. You can't sustain anything with 18 wood. That's not enough to build anything other than a few palisades. And ultimately, Valas here poking and prodding in multiple locations, just getting a little bit of damage done here. By the way, his base fully walled off. Although, wait a second. Maybe not here? Okay, so not fully walled off, but walled off enough that any entry here has to go through a town center. Any entry here has to go through a castle. And he's got plenty of room here to expand with more and more farms. 55 villagers on farm, 2,100 food is enough for him to sustain endless amounts of hussar production. Barles, I think, realizes that, taps out, cannot contend with these fast-paced raiding, the non-stop raiding of the Magyars, lives to fight another day. Valas gets the big W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.